Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What it do, people? As you already know, it's your boy in non-blue, but in that green. Got my Eagles hat here, fresh Christmas gift.
Gotta represent it? Okay.
Hopefully you're married. Yeah, I don't know what colors you got on over there. You looking like a pair of Bordeaux 7s over there,
I do what I do. I'm E-Rod. That's what I be. What's up, people?
Yeah.
I hope everyone enjoyed their holiday over the week rather.
Listen, I'm not a flip-flopper. I'm no chocolate. Put it like that.
What's that?
But I'm thinking about to get a number 9 sewed into my hat. And the word Foles floating the brim.
I can't.
Let me go ahead and put this on.
I can't.
It look weird.
When you just going in on the Foles Wentz thing last week?
But see, it's not about Foles versus Wentz. It's about appreciating. It's about appreciating what we have in the both of them. It's about appreciating what we have in the both of them. If you don't know, now you know. I'm your boy Pete. That's the boy E-Rob. Collectively, we're known as PSG, a.k.a. Philly Sports Guys on A2D. Hopefully, you guys had a great weekend, had a great holiday, great Christmas. And listen, after this, look, I'm off work the next 4 days. New Year's Eve right around the corner. We got Clemson, Notre Dame next tomorrow. Then we got Alabama, Oklahoma tomorrow. College football playoff semifinal.
All day of football,
but
bro.
We ain't here for all that.
But listen,
we ain't here for all that.
So you're off a couple days?
Yeah.
I got a 5-piece. I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm loving that as well. Looking forward to it.
Word.
Yes,
Say
sir.
That.
Need that break.
Listen, tomorrow, right here, it's the team huddle with A2D.
I like that.
People tagging in, tagging out. You make sure your boys come through. 2 o'clock tomorrow, so make sure you check out all the A2D social media platforms. I'm going to be checking the YouTube Live tonight.
Okay.
I know Aaron's on the Facebook Live. We had a poll question.
Yes, sir.
Is Nick Foles the most memorable quarterback in the Eagles' history right now as to date? I, for one, would have to say C, a.k.a. yes.
Okay.
I know you probably feel the same way I feel.
I feel the same way, but here's the thing.
Go ahead.
There's people out there that might there's some that's still on the fence and may say, I don't know. Let's see what Wentz does. Now, Wentz gets one ring. Are we saying that Foles is still influential? Is he still the man? Or are we saying Wentz? If Wentz gets 2, maybe it might change. But for now, it's Foles.
If Foles gets 2,
oh man,
there's no coming back for the boy.
Yo, if Foles gets 2 rings this year, now, and we will be talking about that. We will be talking about the whole playoff situation.
Right.
But if Foles gets 2 rings, man. If you're Howie, if you're Joe Douglas, if you're Mr. Lloyd, what is your next step? Do you still let him go? Do you let him walk? What do you do?
I don't know.
That's a $1 million question, man.
It's a tough decision. But before we even jump into this week's game and all the scenarios that we all been hearing about this week, I want to just recap what has happened so far up until this point. So my top play from Sunday's game against the Houston Texans was Nick Foles threw for 471 yards, 4 touchdowns, the most Eagle passing yards in history, franchise history. For me, it had to be the throw to Aguilar.
Yeah.
And the lack of cojones on Bill O'Brien, because it was 4th and 1 with Deshaun Watson, who, listen, is Bye-Bye Man Jr. If I see him, Bye-Bye Man Jr.
What I've been saying about him.
Yeah.
I said he's a bad man.
The boy is special.
He's
man.
very special.
The boy is special. So for Bill O'Brien,
and I said that from the beginning,
not to go for it on 4th and 1, kick it, and for the Eagles to flip the field, and then the play for Aguilar was an audible by Foles. He saw the coverage, he knew the end zone, and he knew Foles would get over top.
I mean, Foles is clicking on every level, man. Foles is just right now he's unconscious, man. And sometimes when you feel that fire the way he's feeling it right now, I mean, as you said, throwing that deep ball to Aguilar, which I've been screaming for the last 5 games, and actually earlier than that, I've been saying let's get this ball to Nelly, because Nelly in space, Nelly deep, just does so many things. And we actually talked about it, how Groh is not getting Nelly the touches that he needs to have.
Right.
Nelson Aguilar is your X factor on this team, period. Yes, Foles is balling. Jeffrey's doing his thing. Ertz is definitely doing his thing. And by the way, congratulations to Zach Ertz for getting a record. But Nelly is your X factor. He is a matchup problem. But back to Foles. Right now, Foles is just on another level right now. And just to see what he's doing, man, it's magical right now.
So what was your biggest highlight from this past game against Houston?
I mean, just the fight, man. The fight of the team. The fight of even though, and let's go back to when we're winning 29-16. Adams, who has been playing well and up to that moment and from the ball, and seeing Watson coming down the field and just marching him back, and in the minds of us, we're saying, oh boy, here we go again. But in the minds of the Eagles, they're actually believing, you know what, we can come back and win this game. And just to see that and see how they came out there, that was memorable for me.
So memorable to me, the biggest play, one of the biggest plays of the game was the Aguilar throw. That flipped the whole field, and you put points on the board, all in one shot. It's an 83-yard touchdown, but it was a 54-yard pass in the air. And we talked about the touch that Foles has on the deep ball. He hit Aguilar in stride. Aguilar broke away. But we cannot move past this game and not talk about the Philadelphia Eagles Willis Reed moment.
Okay, what's that?
Foles goes down.
Okay. By the way, I know you're gonna set it up. No, set it up, and then I'll chime in.
So Foles goes down. It's 3rd and 10. He takes a direct shot from Clowney, who lowered his head, hitting with the crown of the helmet straight to number 9.
Okay.
Foles apparently got the wind knocked out of him. He's laying there. He's motionless. Alshon goes up top to catch the ball. I think it's from like the 25 or 35-yard line. 15-yard penalty on top of that. Roughing the passer. Now the ball's at midfield. Sudfeld comes into the game, throws an incomplete pass. There was some contact. He thought the cheers were so loud that Sudfeld thought it was a flag. He thought it was a DPI on the play. But what he heard, what it actually was the fans
them cheering Foles.
Cheering for Foles.
Let me say this before we move forward. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I thought the boy was dead. Because the way he just hit him, and by the way, a lot of people are upset about that hit. They feel that wasn't an egregious hit. It was egregious. The reason why I was called, because he actually hit the crown right in the sternum. If he had hit him sideways, as far as on the side of him, then it wouldn't have been a penalty.
I heard Ray Lewis on Inside
that's
NFL
why they called the penalty.
That he wanted to see, like, you got to hit what you're looking at. Well, Ray, go back and watch the tape. I don't know if you took too many 1-2 shots to the head or you got too many cases out there. When Clowney makes contact with Foles' chest.
Yeah, you know, so that was good. That was good. That was good. I'll give you that.
So if you go back and look and you slow it down, when Clowney makes contact with Foles, his head is pointing straight at the ground. Yeah, that's how much he lowered his head. So you can go ahead with that noise.
But like Gene Stetson said, you have to call that. I mean, you want them to play, and that part of the game, you're like, okay, should I call it? But he said it's your duty as a referee to go by the rules, and the rule says you call that flag.
So Jake Elliott, we wouldn't have been in it. Well, we still would have been in that position because he missed the extra point.
He is the most. I don't know I'm trying to figure him out, man, because you ever like somebody, you're like, dang, I like this guy, but then, dang, man, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, Jake
Elliott
just
in the
same flaw. And then the kicks that are 57-yarders, he's got room. It's just the most peculiar thing I've ever seen in my life. But go ahead, I just had to say that.
So for me, that was it. That was pretty much something the game. We had a 13-point lead in the fourth quarter, and once again, we can't hold a lead. I'm starting to feel like the Eagles' defense is damn near like the Sixers when we get a lead. Like, they let the other team make a run, and they always make it interesting. You know, it can never just be let's cruise on to a win, get the momentum, keep it going. They get the W at the end of it, and that brings us to we had Christmas. Then we're gonna jump all over.
Right.
Then we had Sixers Celtics.
Okay.
So this is just a week of a Philadelphia sports fan.
Yes, sir.
So we had Sixers Celtics. I know there's some Flyer games mixed in there. Carter Hart's been doing pretty well.
Yes.
I think did they lose last night, Tom? I know they played the Lightning. They played the Lightning.
What
right?
are they 3-2 with him, or 3-1, or 2-3?
2-1 maybe.
2-1.
Let me check him out, because I've been trying to watch him, and with everything else going on, it's been tough.
Well, they said the first game he looked really, really good.
Yeah,
he looked really good.
Yeah, and I think the second game they were saying he might even look better. And then
the Lightning is just a tough matchup.
I think he's only played 2, right? Isn't he?
I think it's 3.
I think
is it 3?
Games,
Let me go look it up. I'll look it up for you.
Yeah, I think yesterday was his third game.
So Jason says, and this is on Facebook, if Foles gets 2, they need to rename Broad Street. I totally agree, man. Listen. If Foles wins 2,
yeah, that's the best man at my wedding, but I disagree with every word he says.
You do? Why?
Yeah, I mean, if he wins another one, we can name it something. Maybe, no, stop. I can't.
Well, listen,
he can't even entertain
but
it.
He's got a statue already.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if the man wins 2, man, he's gonna be God here. I mean, honestly, he's gonna be God here, bro.
Time out.
You give him 15 minutes with his girl. I tell you what, he would.
Listen.
Here, you can have her. Go ahead.
He ain't
Go
getting
ahead.
her back the same.
Go ahead, Nick. You can have her. Go ahead, buddy.
He
You
ain't
can have
getting
her.
her back the same. He ain't getting her back the same. But listen, I will take that and one up you and say, look, I think he's already there.
He's there right now. But think about it. Considering what's going on right now in the season with Carson and everything that happened, the fact that he came in and he's playing, helped elevate the team to where they're at now, and the fact that we're going to make the playoffs, which we will talk about, and if he does what I think he's going to do, and let's just say he wins it all, he gets free everything right now. I'm quite sure. I don't even know what he'll probably get. I don't know. What he's going to get. He's going to get something.
He's going to get something, but I'm telling you who's not doing this. Go ahead.
3-2 for the Flyers since Carter Hart, and last night was an OT. So you get a point. So definitely a juice.
Definitely a juice. Definitely boost. So what we haven't seen boosted anymore, and maybe the Jimmy Butler honeymoon is over. And it's not to say it's Jimmy Butler's up. I think Butler's now been here almost 19 games, 20 games now since he was acquired. Since he was acquired in October. They blow out the Jazz last night on the road. Second game of a 5-game road trip. I think tomorrow they have the Blazers. And then
Sunday.
The next game, Sunday they have the Blazers. And then the game after that is
Nuggets, I believe.
Clippers,
then Nuggets.
Then the Nuggets.
Yeah.
So
tough games.
What we've seen, and we were talking about it before we came on, our little pre-production huddle, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
It's really a conversation between the three of us.
Okay.
The possessions up until the last shot with JJ, okay? The possessions up until the last shot with JJ, that was a good possession, but we lose sight of not making the other possessions count in the closing part of a game, especially on the road. And to be honest with you, you just see it. You've seen it with the Celtics. You've seen it with Toronto. We're just not as deep. We don't have all the horses. Nope. And Brett Brown really has to coach his ass off to make it happen. Right. And the performance of Wilson Chandler really helped him out. And he came up big in clutch moments, and that's what you need to happen.
He did.
But at the same time, I just don't know how we had the first overall pick in the draft. And I hear everybody sit here and say, Ben is the truth, Ben is the truth, Ben is the truth. I know Ben is the truth against the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
I know Ben is the truth against the Atlanta Hawks.
Right.
Hell, I know Ben is the truth against the Utah Jazz and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I need Ben to be the truth against the Raptors and the Celtics, and then eventually the Bucks when we play the Bucks.
So what I've been saying all this time, Pete, I've been saying this for the last 5 years. We've been doing the show for at least 3 years, I would think, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yes.
And I said to you, and when we were talking, and I said, Ben Simmons coming out of LSU. I've been watching him since high school. Been watching from LSU. I've been watched the documentary, the whole thing. And the issue with Ben is two things. There's no killer instinct. That's the big thing. And the second thing is he lacks. He's disinterested. He becomes Where's Waldo at certain times in the game, and you can't find him. And that's the issue. And being that he is one of our best players, Embiid is number one, of course. But being that he's one of our best players, he's our floor general. That at this point when you're playing the teams against like Boston, who's basically daring him to shoot the ball, he won't do it. Yeah. And just that killer instinct that he needs to have. When first of all, there's a couple plays. There's one play in particular. I think it was 2 minutes left in I think the fourth quarter where he's going.
Oh,
he gets the rebound, right?
Oh my God!
And instead of him just taking it down and bully balling right to the rack, he's being passive.
Not even that.
Passive, man.
I don't know at what point it happened in the game, but all three of us will remember this, and even the people watching.
Okay.
It was a play in the fourth quarter, second half of the fourth quarter. He gets contact.
Okay.
And he doesn't finish strong. He just throws it off the top right of the backboard and think he's going to get the call.
And see, that separates him from those young players that have that killer instinct, those young players that are out there that are stars now. That he just doesn't have that killer instinct. And
I put it like this.
And look, you either have it
or you don't.
Or you don't, man.
Or you just so passive. And listen, you're not going. It's very rare when you get a performance like that from Embiid. He had 34 points, and I think he had 18 or 16 boards. It was like 10 or 17 from the floor. All right. So when you have that, you got to make those tight. You got to make those performances from Embiid count. And it's only a matter of time before him carrying the team in those sort of games where they're big time games. Jimmy's going to be fine. Jimmy's self-motivated.
Jimmy's going to be Jimmy because Jimmy's going to be great on the defense. As you can see, there was plays in the game where he actually played really great defense on Kyrie.
And
so that's what he's going to do.
And then better offense.
And then at times he's going to be that guy that cuts to the basket. Right. He's going to be that guy that gives you a big three. And then occasionally, like he's done twice this year, he can give you that big game-winning shot. But the most important thing, Ben has to be that guy that you need when, let's say, Embiid is off. Let's say Embiid needs that extra oomph. He needs that second guy. He needs that Robin to assist him. He doesn't have it.
Right.
He doesn't have it right now, and it's evident. But more importantly, besides Ben, where's our bench, man? We have no bench right now. And the question that I asked you, and I'm going to ask all the family out there, is why in the world, okay? And I asked Thomas, if Austin Rivers is out there before he gets signed by Houston, you know he's out in the market. You know that you need a second guard. You need a guard that's going to be able to be able to play against those teams like Boston and Toronto who are long, who are good on the perimeter. And let's all due respect, I do love T.J. McConnell. However, he's just not that guy. Right. He's a guy that can give you spark here and there, but he's not that guy. You need that second guy that can play the 2 and the off guard. As point guard and the off guard, and that can actually is great on the defensive side, and that was Rivers, and you just let him walk.
Yeah.
Right to Houston.
Yeah. I don't think you let him walk to Houston. I think that I hear you on the Rivers. Mm-hmm. Main thing is they need a 4 and they need a guard.
Right, which we always said.
They need a 4 and they need a guard for other pieces in the lineup and other players on the roster just to fit.
Okay.
Better in the puzzle in the role that they have for this team. In the role that they have for this team. I just want to go out and say right now.
Okay.
Embiid is so special.
He is, man.
And
he is.
He hasn't even hit to where he wants, because once he realizes that he can just take over a game without leaving 10 to 15 feet from the basket, that's when it's really going to take over.
Right. Let me read some comments real quick. I know we're circling back, but got a few out here. Michael says, I don't know that he's the most important, but he's the most iconic, talking about Foles. Tom says, when's coming back for the playoffs? Ha, ha, ha. Frank says, most important quarterback. Man, that's a tough one. This is going back to what we were saying about Foles. In terms of recent history, has to be McNabb. That's interesting. Talk about a poll question. His resume is great despite not winning a Super Bowl. That's a very interesting point. A lot of people will disagree with you, Frank, because they feel McNabb choked in the big moments. I was a McNabb guy, but I don't know, man. Foles is special, man. And then two more comments. Tom says Ben's soft in crunch time, which we're at right now. Yeah. Definitely not a killer, which is true. And then Michael says no bench, no depth. Muscala is brutal. Muscala has to be more consistent. Muscala could be a decent 4 for you, okay? Which is sometimes some spots he is good, but he's not consistent enough.
Right.
So we gotta get a forward out there, a guy that comes to mind, and I know it's gonna be hard to get him from this team, but a Markieff Morris from Washington Wizards would be that would be such a great fit. Pete, you agree with me on that one?
No lie.
Okay.
During Christmas game, I texted my boys. I was like, yo, where the fuck the other Marcus brother? Where the other Morris brother at? I said, if he could shoot like this dude,
he could play, man.
If he could, I'm like, yo, where the other Morris brother
Marcus at? I have the
so Marcus Senior is
Marcus is a little better.
Is in Boston,
right? Marcus,
but Markieff is in Washington.
Markieff's in Washington.
Now I'll go to the Muscala point,
right?
And just on the YouTube comments, kind of echoing the same thing. We had Philly Jim saying, worst man. I know they were going back and forth. He said Sixers need to bench badly. Tom chimed in and saying, look, it's the worst bench in the league, and it is. It showed evidence. I remember the broadcasters were saying in the third, fourth quarter that the Sixers bench had no points up until that point.
Right.
I think they only ended up scoring 12 points, but excuse me, they need it badly. Muscala in Detroit, I remember that game where Joel missed.
Yes.
He played well, but that's against Detroit. You're not looking for that same performance, but you're looking for something more on the lines of consistency, not even on the defensive side of the ball, but even on the offensive side of the ball. It's just those shots, like when in that game on Christmas Day,
right? You
just knew those shots and those swings where Boston will come down, miss 2, and we'll make 1. We have another good look at another one. We against those teams, we need every possession, every bucket that we can get.
Right.
Because, and to be honest, we don't know the next time that Boston plays Philly if Embiid's going to go 10 for 17 from the floor.
We don't.
And I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the 2016 first overall pick, Simmons, in the fourth quarter. he's close to a triple-double. Yeah, but, dude, it's 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists.
It's quiet, man. I say it all the time. It's the quietest triple-doubles I've ever seen. My buddy Jay, who's the Foles guy, says the same thing about him. It's not that he's not talented. It's not that he's not a freak.
Right.
Guys are born with killer or they're not. But what kills this basketball team, like you guys were talking about, 0 bench, probably the worst in the league.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, and Markelle Fultz. I mean, forget about all the rest. Like if he was semi what he was supposed to be, you're getting 15 to 18 off your bench.
And here's the thing, Tom. I'm glad you said that because, and you ever like have that girl back in the day that you really like? You was with her and you wanted her to be a certain way, and you had that high hopes. You said, you know what? I'm going to stick with. I'm going to try to work this out.
Right.
But she's not what you wanted to be. But you're going to say, okay, you know, let me just hold on to it. Let me just see if it works. And that's what the Sixers are doing. The Sixers are saying, okay, Markelle Fultz, we're going to send you away. We want you to get better, and then hopefully you'll come back. Listen, the bottom line is, and listen, I'm rooting for the kid. I hope everything changes for him. But listen, you got to move on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're holding out hope. They need to go to a plan B. You're not going to be able to compete with the teams you need to compete with. You need to get that. You need to get that 4, of course, and you got to get that guard, man. You're going to have to.
It's hard.
Can't depend on Fultz.
It's like we say in the NFL. If you're a top 10 quarterback, you're going to get so many more chances. And Fultz, they're going to give Fultz every chance. But this is my thing. The Fultz will come. I'm more interested in seeing Zaire.
Yeah.
Because I don't think on the offensive side of the floor, he's even scratched the surface yet. I know what he can give me.
Who remind you of? It should be quick.
It's not a Kawhi.
No, not at all.
Not a Kawhi.
I'm going to give you a hint. He played for us.
Iguodala?
A young one.
A young Iguodala?
A young Iguodala. Think about it. He's not the greatest shooter, but he does everything. He's good. He's a great passer, which he is, because I watched him a lot in college. He runs the floor well. He can jump. Hopefully, he can still jump from the foot. But other than that, he reminds you. He's kind of raw still. He kind of reminds you, but he gives you that long presence on defense,
right?
Which we desperately need.
Yes. So, like against those matchups when we get a Jaylen Brown and things of that nature. And look, this is another one.
Think about it before you go into it. What's the one thing the Lakers do now better than anybody right now on defense?
Their rotation.
Their rotation. But what when you watch that game against Golden State, what was the thing that you saw? You said, wow, they really match up with them well because they're able to switch.
Oh, yeah.
They're able to switch.
It's positionless basketball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what Smith gives you.
Yeah.
So when you add Smith and you add another guy like that, a second guard that can give you that, you'll be able to compete with the Torontos and the Bostons of the world because you're going to see that a lot. So
that's it. Before we move on, because I know I got some comments in the YouTube Live. This is what I think about Ben.
Okay.
Right now up until this point. And Ben has to find himself as an interman. You ever see that girl in the club or you have that crush on a girl?
Yeah.
And you like, yo, she bad. Ooh, what I do for her.
Ooh, yeah.
And then you get it, and because she knows she looks so good, she don't put no effort in anywhere else.
Nope. Because everything's given to her.
Right.
She's expected.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And like I'm talking to my friends,
right?
Other guys in the know. They don't want to trade Ben for the world. I was sitting here saying like, yo, I'll trade Ben right now for De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley straight up.
That's an interesting trade, man.
Straight up. I'll get De'Aaron Fox, Marvin Bagley, 2020, the 2021 Phoenix picks, and Ben Simmons. Get out of here.
And you know what? Honestly, that makes sense. And I watch a lot of Sacramento ball, man. Bagley, even though he's been hurt lately, he looks sharp, man. He looks sharp. He's a little raw still, but he's sharp. He's a guy that some games he can give you 20 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Fox is one of the fastest guards in the league, period. Yeah. And he has a lot of potential. His upside is crazy right now. True point. Exactly. And you match him up with Butler. And you match him up with Embiid. You might have something there, bro.
Yeah.
Might have something, bro.
Yeah, so listen, we got Philly Jim had a very good point. And we talked about there was the drop came on. I know Tom's been chiming in on the comments as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said, what do we think about Deshaun Jackson rumors coming back to Philly?
Don't want him. Let me tell you why. First thing, you
said
said it.
Strong.
You said it. You said it. We got Aggie. We got Nelly. We need.
But hold on. Time out.
No, let me finish.
Go ahead.
We got Nelly. We need to go full throttle on Nelly. And I said, but you disagreed. We got Tate. You got Tate and you got Nelly. I'm good with that.
Listen, no disrespect to Nelson Aguilar.
Okay.
And no disrespect to Golden Tate.
Okay.
They will never ever fucking beat Deshaun Jackson in the foot race.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay,
But
no.
but
everything else.
Yeah, everything else. And
Right.
Deshaun can't stay healthy. Okay, let's
I
talk
don't
about
think
that.
he wants to play in Tampa Bay. I think he's
Nah, he
made,
doesn't. He doesn't.
I think
I
he's
agree
made
with that.
this decision.
Yeah, he don't.
6-7
He wants to
weeks
come back
ago.
to Philly, just like LeSean. They both. If you gave them the opportunity right now for them both to come back, they will be open arms.
And I'm good on. I'm past either one because I'll tell you this. Now, Philly Jim had mentioned Hollywood Brown, receiver coming out.
I like him. That's a kid from Ohio State, right? Or no, Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My thing is, this is who I would want.
Okay.
They tried to get him at the trade deadline.
Okay.
And he fight for the cherry and the white. And that's that boy Robert Anderson up there in New York.
He's playing well, too. He's doing his thing.
Burner, younger, try to get him at the pick.
Yeah, that makes sense, but they're not going to trade him.
I'm just saying.
He's hitting his stride now. Now, he struggled this year, though.
Nah.
Yes, I had him in fantasy. I had to drop his tail.
Why you drop him?
Because he wasn't getting the rock. He wasn't doing nothing. Then
the last
3 weeks, he started stepping it up. I've been watching him.
So perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why I say that? Because you know that the Jets are going to make a coaching change.
Absolutely.
They're going to bring in an offensive-minded coach.
Who we got going? McCarthy?
Nah, I don't care who they have.
Okay.
I just want Robbie Anderson. I don't give a shit what else they do. I don't care less what else they do out there. Give me Robbie. But see, this is why. Listen, Philly Jim. For some reason, even Joe Douglas and Howie Roseman, short term, they can't draft a wide receiver. I don't get what it is. You don't
like Mike Collins? You don't like Collins?
He hasn't played. I liked what he did last year.
He was chipped up.
See, this is. What did you just say?
He was chipped up.
Take out the up. What words did you just say?
Chip.
Zach Ertz, Jordan Matthews, Nelson Aguilar.
Chippy Chip.
All drafted under whose watch?
Chippy Chip. Did Chip die for our sins like Sam Hinkie?
Semi.
Did he? Did he die for Tom?
Well,
Did he die for our sins?
if you want to think about it like this, right? The RPO with Nick started with Chip on the 27-2. So the fact that Doug, and this is why I love Doug, has no ego.
Right.
And notice how well that worked for Nick and
Right.
started implementing that into our offense last year and got him going. It all stems back to the little Chip Kelly tree and something he did really well on, really not well, just great with Chip.
Right.
And they used it last year to their benefit. And Chip has his handprint on a lot of these picks when he had his control. You know, when he took them out. Because Howie can't draft worse shit.
Right now he can't, man. I mean, honestly,
that's why I said, speaking of Philly Jim, I don't trust Howie to draft a wide receiver.
If you look at some of the draft picks, man. I
trust Joe Douglas, sorry.
Other than Maddox, let's see, last year. Let's go last year. Other than Maddox.
Their undrafted free agents in the last 2 seasons have been better than the
regular picks. Right. But
listen,
Maddox.
2 words.
That's it.
2 words. Donnell Pumphrey. Fucking stops there.
Yo,
you can't.
What the heck
happened?
happened?
You can't. They lost it all right there.
Listen, did you watch him in college?
Don't matter.
And I know sometimes it doesn't translate. Right. I understand that. But I just don't understand why it didn't translate over. What the heck was it?
What happened?
And they traded up. Don't forget the fact they traded up over Dallas.
How in the world? I want to go know what's going on in San Diego State. How in the world Donnell Pumphrey beat out Rashard Penny?
Listen, Donnell Pumphrey in college was a beast, bro. I watched him.
Now,
I watched a lot of his games, man.
Nicky Steve said the Eagles don't need receivers. We have everything but that.
We need
that
a deep
take that
threat.
top off.
We need a deep threat. We got a deep threat.
I don't need a Mike Wallace. I don't need a
some,
Torrey Smith. I need somebody
a
young
young
coming
guy.
off a rookie deal.
We need a young guy. We need a young guy. Get a young guy in there and let's see what he can do.
I'll take Mike back again.
Mike Wallace?
Yeah, for one reason, because this is the first time he's ever been banged up like this.
Yeah,
he's usually
true.
a durable guy.
Yeah.
And if I can get him back on another 1-year deal for even cheaper. I'll take a flyer on a guy for a 1 year while I try to figure out some things or draft it. Because now you got to figure out if you're bringing Nelly back and Golden. You got a lot of – you got 3 guys right there.
A lot of sense you got to make.
It's going to be interesting.
I think Tate's
now,
going.
Tate's not a free agent, correct?
Yeah, he is.
He is a free agent.
He is a free agent. I think Tate's going.
I mean, right now he's not a good fit. Now, do you bring him back and you say, you know what, let's see what he does in the mini camps. Let's see what he does to the workouts or as far as the training camp to see how he fits in the offense. Now, keep in mind, and a lot of people don't realize this, is Carson is going to have that time to actually rehab.
Yeah.
He's going to actually practice. He's actually going to have the guys come out with him to North Dakota to actually work out. Right. So how is Golden Tate going to work out then? So how he has so many decisions he needs to make because the wide receiver group's big. Yeah. I mean, you got to have the weapons to give to Carson. Right. But like you said, I'm going to echo what you said. That deep guy stretching that
so
field,
much more,
taking the top off. does so much for the enemy. Gives Ertz can do his thing from there, and it's a trickle down effect because you got that deep threat.
Now the biggest thing is, and for me, before you get to the draft, after the whole end of season, the exit interviews, the Eagles brass need to figure out what they want to be, because I feel as if they go heavy 2 tight ends with Goddard and Ertz, and they can get a true run like a legit running back, I'm good.
Well, listen,
the receivers will figure themselves out because the tight ends will open up everything.
Right. I'm gonna say this, and it's a bold prediction. I might get flack for it, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Kareem Hunt. I'm saying it right now.
Oh yeah.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen out there. I'm gonna read a couple comments, but I just want to say this, everyone. I know everyone might not disagree with the situation, what happened, and again, you never should have woman. I'm gonna put that disclaimer out there. But
Two Gun Tommy says he think Ajay will resign coming off the ACL.
I don't know about that. I thought about that, but you're talking about a guy that has a history of bad knees. Now you're adding, it's degenerative, correct?
Yeah.
Now you're adding a torn ACL. I doubt it, unless you just get him for nickels, which is possible. No. But
go ahead.
Get ready to see Kareem Hunt. So James Rogge says, what's your thoughts on Deshaun? We actually went through that, talked about that. He says, I think we bring back Tate. If you can imagine having him and Deshaun, that would be something big. Again, Tate, I think they may bring Tate back, but I don't see Deshaun coming. Now, Kevin says, what's up, Kev? He said y'all don't need a deep threat. Foles stretched that field when he played. Y'all need a running back, a bell cow, period. Again, that's why I'm saying Kareem Hunt will be Eagle next year. He will be Eagle.
The best thing I can say is everybody's discussions, everybody's recommendations and their observations are great. I'm seeing it even on YouTube. The Eagles need speed on offense, simply as put.
Right.
It's balance. It's balance. It's balance. It's balance. It's balance. Now, the last comment you read, he said Foles stretched the offense and need a bell cow. He's speaking like Foles going to be here next year.
Yeah, Foles not going to be here, Kev.
So, oh, Lord.
I know you saying, oh, Lord. If he wins another chip, then I don't know, man.
Okay.
If Foles wins a chip, honestly, what is your gut?
That's the only time I'm going to take it.
What is your gut saying?
Because you know why? Mm-hmm. But see, the Eagles are damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because say Foles does take them back to the Super Bowl, even if they don't win it, okay? We sat here and we talked about, okay, does Carson deserve his contract? That was our poll question last week.
Right.
Does he deserve to do you want to re-sign him now? We already know the Eagles and Foles have a mutual option. If Foles wants to leave, I think he has to give $2 to $3 million back to the Eagles.
Right.
And if the Eagles want to keep him, they got to pay him $20.6. Okay, so you mean to tell me this is the same Super Bowl MVP, won a Super Bowl, came back and took a lesser team, in my opinion.
Okay.
A lesser team, in my opinion.
Right.
Possibly back to the Super Bowl, made a deep playoff run, but yet it's going to, dare I say this, it would be cheaper
to trade Wentz?
No, to re-sign Wentz than re-sign Foles. Foles is going to end up costing you almost just as much because he has all the leverage.
He's got all the leverage, bro. Let me echo back to this comment. This is a really good one. Kevin says, he said, look at Golden State. He doesn't look like he fits. Now, he doesn't fit because why? We don't have a deep threat. If we have a deep threat, Golden Tate fits like a glove. I'm telling you guys, if you have an actual deep threat that you can depend on a regular basis, you can run those underneaths with Golden Tates and Ertz. And you can get Golden Tate in space.
I hear you. If we still have somebody on a rookie deal, it's going to cost too much.
True.
It's going to cost too much. And I want him to do it on a cheap route because who are they going to lose on the defensive side?
So let me say this. What if you have to choose between, because you might have to, this might be the situation. What if you're choosing between Tate and Aguilar? You go Nelly.
Yeah, I'm going Nelly.
And I'm getting rid of Tate.
Nelly. But I don't agree with Kevin said that, right?
Yeah, Kevin said that.
And we were going back and forth a little bit. But, he looks a little out of sorts, obviously, because he just came over. But an offseason could change that. An offseason could make him look like special in this offense. So there's a lot of tough decisions just of wideouts.
So last year we had a perfect blend of KG veterans and we had young talent. The route that Kevin just said, Tate, we even bringing back Wallace and then bringing in Deshaun. Fuck, that's the oldest wide receiver group in the league. I don't want that. But bigger than that. Okay, this is what I want people to see. And I really think this boy played hard on Sunday because he was auditioning for the Eagles.
Who's this?
I think that boy Clowney. There's a shot. He's playing in green and white.
Yeah, but that's a lot of dough. Now, you're saving Peter's money. I get what you're going.
Brandon Graham is
Graham's money because he's going. You're saving Peter's money, and then you're going to save Foles money. So, yeah, you actually could afford him.
Because they're not going to – the Texans are not going to pay Watt and Clowney.
Nah.
And knowing that they're going to have to pay
And McKinney. They still got McKinney. Don't forget him.
McKinney. And Merciless.
And
They may try to re-sign Matthew, too. So, with all that being said, let's get to this week's games.
Okay.
We all know about the scenarios. Let's talk about the big meat on the plate.
All right. I like that.
So, we have Washington. I'm not going to say the last name or whatever the team name is.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to go against the Eagles. Now, look, I've been hearing people talk about all week like it's a given that the Eagles are going to beat the Redskins. Damn, I said it. Shit. I didn't want to say it.
You can do one time. Ain't going to hurt, bro.
They're just going to run them over. Crazy stuff happens down there in D.C. Last year, and when people forget, the first week of the season, I understand things happening. Look, it took the breakout play from from Wentz to Aguilar.
Right.
And then it took the strip sack that may not even been a strip sack, fumble from Cox, and they only won by 14. Now, granted, it's Josh Johnson. They're gonna have
and a million injuries. Don't forget that.
They're gonna have to withstand Washington's initial effort and then take care of business.
Right.
I think they'll take care of business. I just don't think it's a given as everybody seems.
I agree. It's not a layup at all. It's not. You're talking about two division foes that have a history of battling, have a history of going down to the wire, have a history of slobber knockers. If I'm actually channeling Jim Ross wrestling. You like that, right? I'm slobber knocker. You like that? Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
that was a good one.
All right. So
that was a good one.
So I mean, the thing is, it's going to be a tough game, man. Yeah. And we was talking about it off camera. You're going to see, and listen, Redskins, man. I mean, I know we were banged up. We lost a lot of people, but the Redskins,
especially on the offensive line,
they have right now. I think they're at their fifth string guards right now. Fifth string.
I think he said 7 and 8.
7 and 8. Listen, I mean, Vernon Davis, I think, is out. They lost Jordan Reed's out. I think Crowder's banged up. Thompson just came back, got banged up. I think he's still going to play. I mean, the list goes on. They lost their first-round draft pick, the kid from LSU, the running back, Geis. I mean, you can keep going down the line.
That they had on the offensive, the defensive line. Their defense. Yeah. If the Redskins is healthy next year, they're a problem.
They are. Right. Now, they still got some guys. They still got Anderson, got the kid from Alabama. They still got the other kid from Alabama. I can't remember his name offhand. It's escaping me.
You talking about Jonathan Allen?
Yeah, Jonathan Allen. I mean, they got
the Ron
and
Payne.
They got the man that gives us problems every single time. That guy, Kerrigan, is an issue. Now, so it's going to be tight. But they have Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson, even though he's a system guy, he does decent for them at times.
Right.
It's still Josh Johnson. So, with that being said, I think we're going to go in this game. I think the fact that we're bringing back Mike Wallace, I like that. We're activating him. I want to see what he's going to do. And we talked about the deep threat. See what he's going to do in this game. You still got Nelly doing this thing. And, again, you got to get, like I said before, and I've been saying this, get Nelly in space. I think with us doing those things as well as Ertz doing this thing in the middle of the field, we'll be fine. I think we still will win this game. But I just think people need to understand it's not a cakewalk. It's going to be a battle.
And this is my biggest fear. This is the third game, right? This is the third game. Now, last year, Nick Foles is due for a dud. His dud last year was his third. Well, if I'm not mistaken, was it his third game? His third game.
Yeah,
he got the second half against the Rams. He played all.
You talking about the Raiders game? He looked bad, and the Dallas game he looked bad.
Yep.
Right.
So now this is it. Can the Eagles withstand his dud?
Now let me say this real quick. Now Kevin's funny. Washington has tight ends playing on the line.
Dang.
Now Kevin also says earlier what we talking about. He says the issue is what y'all said earlier. There are so many free agents you can get. You need to draft better, which is true. There were wide receivers out there last year that had the speed, but y'all passed on them. I agree with that. Like we said, Howie in a lot of spots has missed. So Howie's got to step it up, man. Because you got 11 picks right now.
Yeah.
You know, so he's got to step it up.
10.
It's 10. I thought they'd get one more because it's compensatory.
They may, but I'm just saying the one they gave up for Golden Tate.
Okay, so it's 10. But you got. Right now. But my thing is this: the first 3 rounds, you got 3 picks. You got 1, 2, and 2 twos.
Yeah.
So you got to hit a home run with that.
So Philly Jim he's all in on Hollywood Brown. I like that, Jim. I'm gonna do some more. I'm gonna do some deep dive.
What is he?
It's the wide receiver.
Right. But is he great as a first rounder, second rounder?
I had to take a look at that. We got to take a look at that.
And depending on what he does tomorrow.
So and then Hey, Two Gun Tommy in the YouTube said, first and foremost, guys, we want to thank you so much for communicating and interacting with us. You guys drive the show. Outside of the content that we talk about, we bring, you guys throw those curves in there. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
Two Gun Tommy says, Goddard will explode in 2019. I'm in agreement with you. If given a chance, he will definitely explode. He also says he thinks Foles has one more year in him. I can see that as well because he sees that he can still do it.
Yeah.
Now, this is big, though. This is big. Damian Estrada says, re-up Foles.
Okay.
But then he says
trade him.
Trade him for Kyle Long. I don't know why.
I was thinking. I don't know about Kyle Long, but that makes sense because Kyle Long, you can slide Kyle Long to the outside. Kyle Long did play. He does play tackle.
But what incentive do the Bears have to do that?
That is true. Maybe you think of another scenario because you're right. They have Trubisky.
Yeah.
They don't need Foles. Honestly, to piggyback off Foles right now, the rumor is, and I heard a couple rumors. The rumor is Foles going to Miami. That's one of the rumors out there.
Tannenbaum's down there.
Tannehill is there, but
no, Tannenbaum. He may be on his way out. Mike Tannenbaum, the GM.
True, but what I'm saying is that the rumor of Foles going to Miami is interesting. It's very interesting. I mean, what they do with Tannehill. Is Tannehill out the door?
Listen, Tannehill, you better take your ass back to wide receiver. You better go back to wide receiver.
Shout out to my man Ben Tark. That's his boy.
Yeah,
that's his boy, bro.
Better take him back to wide receiver. But listen, man. So we talked about the Eagles-Washington game.
Right.
We got the Eagles winning. Well, Washington's going to come back up later in the show before we get out of here in a whole different capacity.
Can't forget them.
Now look, I know my boy Dave was in the YouTube. Said it's all about the Chargers and the Rams. He's stuck on LA. So listen.
Oh, it's my man Dave, the Rams guy.
Yeah. So this is what LA has to beat the 49ers to secure the second seed.
Gurley's out.
But the biggest thing is, and I think they can do that. Don't get me wrong, the 49ers, especially on the defensive side, they're tough. They don't get too much of them. That's what made Reuben Foster expendable. You know what I mean? Because they have other
young kid.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because the system is good. And look, Nick Mullins, we know that they can run the ball. And now you don't have Gurley. Listen, C.J. Anderson, I don't think he's going to catch lightning in the bottle twice. No. You know what I mean? 20 carries on 160 yards on 20 carries, 8 yards a carry. I don't think that's going to happen again.
He looks hurt to me.
Who?
C.J. Anderson looks hurt to me. He don't look. I mean, he had a great game last game, but honestly, he just doesn't look like he has that burst like he did when he was in Denver.
Did he ever had the burst?
He had a nice. No, C.J. Anderson had a nice burst, bro.
Okay, so then now the biggest game outside of these bridges, outside of this area, we all know is Chicago against Minnesota. Kirk Bitch Cousins, who we need to show up.
Kirk Coupons. Okay.
We need him to show up Sunday.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we need the Bears to have something to play for, which we talked about before. I said, look, they get all this talk about resting players. If you go back and look at Trubisky, this would be his third game back. He missed the 2 games. He missed the Thanksgiving game, then he missed the Giants game.
Right.
You know what I mean? He hasn't looked good.
Nah, he has. I mean, right now he's struggling right now.
So you want him to keep playing.
Yeah, listen, he's going. Here's the bottom line. This game is so important, man. I mean, there's so many different variables right now. There's so many ways to look at it. You know, are they going to sit? Are they going to play? Are they going to watch the scoreboard? Are they going to watch the Rams in the 49ers game? Can the 49ers at least make it competitive so the Rams are going to stay in the game?
Right.
Bottom line is this, man. I think the 49ers can win that game. It sounds crazy. It sounds strange, but you never know. But I think the Bears are going to come in. They need to get that. I think they're going to realize with young teams, you got to get, even though –
yeah,
you got to get that. You got to get that momentum going, and I think the Nagy's going to realize that and keep Trubisky and keep those guys in the Cohens and of the world, and get those guys going. So I think, honestly, I think the Bears can win this game. I think they are going to win this game. And Kirk Cousins, man, it's a crazy stat. He's like 5-24 against 500 teams. He in big moments, man, in big moments, and we've seen him right in front of us, just choke.
Yeah.
I think it's another one.
You have the Minnesota Vikings. It's total 2 parallels of the teams that were in the NFC Championship game last year. Eagles dealing with so many injuries. They're riding hot. We're hot now. We're hot. We're playing well. We have a chance to win the 5 of the last 6. You have Kirk Cousins, who did all this shit, right? All these tours, went to the Jets facility, went to Denver's, went to Minnesota, all that, right?
Yeah.
You got Minnesota, who Case Keenum didn't play well in Denver this year.
No.
But came at almost $20 to $30 million less than Kirk Cousins. So as a Minnesota Viking fan and that fan base, You went out and spent $85 million on this dude. And if there's a chance you don't miss the playoffs, he already had pressure when he was on a fully guaranteed franchise tag when Washington wasn't playing for jack shit.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, listen, we understand Foles is under pressure. That's us here in the Philadelphia area.
Right.
And the whole landscape of football.
Right.
The whole landscape of professional sports.
Okay.
This weekend, I don't care even about the college games.
Okay.
There is no single person with more pressure on them
Than Nick Foles.
than Kirk
Cousins. Okay. I totally agree.
Am I wrong in saying that?
I totally agree. Listen, we've seen a history. We've seen a history of him choking in those Washington games. How many times he choked when Washington needed a big win? I think there's only one game that he really came through, and guess who that was against? A Chip Kelly-led Eagles team, if you guys remember that, when Chip got fired. But other than that, every game, I remember a couple years ago against Dallas, I think they could have got in or won a division or something like that, and it just came up small. Let me just read a couple comments. Kevin, this guy is funny, man. Kevin. So Kevin says Minnesota will beat the Bears. They're playing at home too, right?
Doesn't matter.
Question mark. They're crushing the Bears. Sorry, Eagles fans.
He said they what?
Kevin. He says he questions. They're playing at home too, right?
No, he said they're going to crush the Bears.
They're crushing the Bears. Sorry, Eagles fans. Kevin, that's a lot of hateration, holleration in this dance.
So Kevin's not even an Eagles fan.
Kevin he's pessimistic Pat. Kevin Walker.
Mike Zimmer's got a lot of pressure too, boys.
Yeah, that's
yes,
what I'm saying.
He does.
You know, I mean, he's underachieved his whole career too. So it's not, it's Kirk Cousins and the head coach. Both have underachieved their entire careers. And you got your division rival coming into town that's physically beat up everybody they play.
And he fired 2 offensive coordinators. Keep that in mind.
Because his offense never works, no matter who goes there. Yeah. That's why everybody's like, I don't want the flipper back. No, Zimmer's to me is not a good coach.
He's
good defensive guy.
Now, the saving grace is this coordinator, Stefanski. He's actually running the ball.
But that doesn't matter against Chicago.
I understand that. But if you can slow the game up a little bit and hopefully curtail Mack, who's a beast, chip him up and then run some screens, wide receiver screens.
I hear you.
You have a chance.
But before Mack even got there, there was another Pro Bowler on that offensive on the defensive line.
Hicks?
Akeem Hicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to
they're loaded. I mean, Trevathan,
they're loaded.
Smith.
They're loaded. Leonard Floyd. Now, you did say there's some big key inactives for that game.
Eddie Jackson. Robinson. And there was another guy, too.
For the Bears or
for the Bears.
I can't remember the
But
name.
guess what? The Minnesota's got more pressure at
Kevin's
third.
out, too.
Let's add a kicker to it. Just because whoever their kicker is always misses a big kick.
And who's their kicker?
Dan Bailey now.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's
so
right.
He's been missing
kicks. Yeah.
I told you, I could see him missing like a 35-yarder for the win.
Yeah.
Which is more mental with him because when he was with Dallas,
he wasn't like that.
He was killing it.
He hurt his groin and then wasn't right for Dallas, and they would owe him too much money, so they let him go and went with a younger guy. And a lot of times when them guys hurt their groins, it's tough to get back right.
So Kevin says the game will not be put in Cousins' hands this week. Watch. Kevin, what are you saying? So whose hands is going to be in?
So this is my thing. Kevin, I appreciate it, but we give him too much of a platform. We got the people we need to talk to.
This guy.
We got too many. Get his Patriots love out of here.
So Ben said, what's up, BT? Ben says he's Rex Ryan 2.0, but without the loud mouth. Talking about Zimmer. Tom. Yep. I agree with that, Ben.
Facts, yep.
I agree with that.
Now, listen, we talked about it before. The line already for Vegas, because we're going to look ahead a little bit.
Okay.
The line already for round 1 of the playoffs, the wild card round of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. If the Bears finish at the 3 seed and they play the Vikings for the 3rd time, it's -3.5. Bears are the favorite. If the Bears play the Eagles, the line is 5.5.
Interesting.
So we've been sitting here saying because we know what it's like to be a young team, inexperienced to play.
Okay.
But Vegas is like, okay, well, they're just a better team. That's what they're looking at. So the Bears could pick that up and be like, well, shit, I'd rather play the Eagles. Let's play the Super Bowl.
They should rather play the Eagles. You don't want to play that team 3 times in a year.
Yeah,
especially on a short week.
Yeah.
No, you don't want that.
Yeah.
Especially, and then this is the thing. This is the caveat. So the Bears will sit here and be like, okay, even if the Rams get up by 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, and it's like 3 minutes left.
Right.
But at that point, the games is at the same time. So by that point, it's irrelevant. So, but let's just say the Rams get up big in the first half on the 49ers. In that event that it happens.
Right.
So then as a Minnesota Vikings player, you start taking on, okay, Hicks isn't playing now. So So you
I'm taking players out.
You telling me
Right.
that you can beat us next week? You'd rather play us? So
Pretty much.
That
That's
don't
what
set
they're
you
saying.
up well for the next week. That may do good now, but then the next
But
week.
the psyche of that team, the
Right.
psyche of that player.
You don't wanna get-
What are you actually saying?
Right, so-
What advantage are you? I see what you're saying.
Right.
What advantage are you giving to Minnesota to say, okay, all right, so they saying we slouches. They saying that we can't ball
Right.
out. We can't do the things that we need to do. All right, we're gonna show you next week. That's what we're gonna do next
Right,
week.
and it's hard just to turn that light switch back on, like you said. And for a young team, second-year head coach, second-year quarterback, who kind of overachieved this year. I told you on the phone.
Yeah.
I said there was a lot of parallels between what the Bears is doing, and not so much with the record, but what the Bears did and what the Eagles did last year.
I just think the inexperience, and this is why. First of all, we're gonna win the game. I'm gonna actually go on a limb.
Oh, you said, yeah, I love this.
I'm going out on a limb. I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to say that the Eagles will be in the playoffs. I'm going to go. I'm just putting myself out there. I don't care, people.
What's the other
Which
part?
one? What's the other part?
What's the other part you told me?
Which
Go
one?
ahead.
I say a lot.
After the Eagles make the playoffs, what they gonna do?
I said, listen, after the Eagles make the playoffs, they're gonna make some noise.
No. Say it.
That's what I said.
This man said
What'd I
on
say?
the phone, he said the Eagles will make the playoffs and they're going to go in and beat the Bears.
Oh, absolutely. We match up really well against the Bears.
I don't think so at all.
I think we do, and I think with that momentum, listen, the bottom line is that
Mac on Vitae all game.
There's ways to curtail him. Okay, you can slow him down. You can throw screens. You can throw wide receiver screens. You can throw swing passes. There's ways of curtailing and slowing him down, okay?
Okay, I hear you.
Right.
Now, the biggest thing is we talked about, and I don't want to get too far ahead because I don't want to – I'm not that type of person. Don't even tell me happy birthday until it's my birthday. I'm very big on that. So I don't want to speak about it too much. But the reason why I said I don't see – can the Eagles win? Yes, the Eagles could win.
Absolutely.
But why I'm not as confident is because we don't have that back to sit there and just constantly pound it to keep them honest. And you said Adams, but look, we've seen it with Adams the past 2 weeks. A man got like 20 carries or 54 yards.
Well, he was banged up. Honestly, he's banged up. I mean, and that's an excuse, but that's just real.
But the thing about Nagy, real quick, the thing about Nagy and being a young team, Pete, like you were saying, that's why he talked about in his pressers this week that he wanted to run. Not run. Sorry, he wanted to play for something this week.
Yeah.
He didn't want the rest or the rest guys because he wants his guys playing good football going into the dance.
You want that fluidity,
Yep.
yeah. Right. And the thing is, the call came with Dougie P reaching out to Nagy. They coached together in Philly for years as well as KC.
Yep.
But like I said, you want that fluidity. I understand that.
So,
but we match up. Sometimes it's all about matchups, man. And I think there's teams, and we're going to get in, like I said. And there's teams that we match up against really well, and there's teams that we don't match up really well. We don't match up against Dallas. I'm being honest in saying that. I'm keeping it real. We don't match up well against Dallas, and to some degree we don't. A lot of degree we don't match up against the Saints. To some degree we don't.
Well,
to some degree we don't. We don't. Now if they play because Breeze, what I've noticed with Breeze, a lot of teams.
So why are we talking about the Saints again?
I'm talking about matchups.
But we ain't even there yet.
You ain't listening. You ain't listening. I'm just saying in general. I'm hypothetically.
Man, now only is he looking 1 week ahead. He's looking 2 weeks ahead, 2 games ahead.
All I'm going to say is this. It's all about matchups. That's all I'm saying, people. It's all about matchups out there.
Listen.
We got some comments out here.
Go ahead.
So Kevin, I'm sorry. I'm going to read. Okay. So Dean says, bullshit. I remember when Dallas paid, or I don't know, PD Eagles 3 times in 1 year. That is true.
2009.
That is true. Remember that year?
I never forget that. 2009.
They beat us that one time.
Both
the
teams,
last game, the second game.
Right. Both teams was 11-5.
And beat us again. Right.
Yeah. Deion Brown in the YouTube says, I think the Bears would rather play our DBs than have to play the same DBs. That is true. And to play the DBs Minnesota's for 3 times because if you're a DB and you're seeing the same player, regardless of what the route is, you start to key on tendencies, their movements. So it's going to be tough. But do I want the Eagles to get – the fan in me says I want the Eagles to get in the playoffs.
Of course.
But the broadcaster in me, the radio host in me, sports bringer and giver to the masses says they asses don't deserve to be in the playoffs because you got a team that's about to finish 6 and goddamn 10 and ain't won a game since they beat y'all 17, came back and put up 21 points in the damn fourth quarter.
Is that the broadcaster or are you being pessimistic? Are you being like Kevin?
Yeah,
that's not pessimistic. No, that's just the honest truth.
You're just saying they just don't deserve it.
But what does Minnesota deserve it though?
They don't.
You know what I'm saying? None of that 6th seed really deserves it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
This year.
And in Minnesota here, we can't forget about that. Guess what, people? In October, we played Minnesota.
And we lost.
But that's when Lane Johnson was playing like a damn turnstile. He was playing like a revolving door.
Was he hurt?
I don't know. Was he hurt? The strip sack and whoever the chubby dude, me and you, he looked like me and you picking up the ball, ran 60-some yards for a touchdown.
I can't remember the boy's name. Listen, the bottom line is, we can say this and that, but the bottom line is over the last 5 games, because we won, was it 5 out of 6 we won? They're showing something, man. Yeah, they're believing in themselves. So and let me finish.
Go ahead.
They're believing, and like Nick Foles says, the offense is playing for the defense, and the defense is playing for the offense, and it's a brotherhood. And right now, when you, like I said, I've been saying it, when you're in those 4 walls and you believe in each other, that's a magical thing, man. True. That's where they're at right now.
So even with that being said, we're gonna get the quick hits. But that brotherhood, where the hell was that damn brotherhood when Wentz was in there? That's all I'm saying. So
here you go with that again. Here you go with that again.
Truth. What's up, Ralph? We hear all this camaraderie, brotherhood talk now.
Ralph's in the building, bro. Ralph said he's here now.
No, hey Ralph. Hey Ralph.
Pittsburgh, Ralph.
Go back to bed, Ralph.
Ralph, Pittsburgh. Let's talk about. I know we got to move on, but is Pittsburgh going to make?
It's 8:55.
Is Pittsburgh going to make it real quick?
Listen.
Sorry, I thought that was Ralphie Day.
Oh no, it's Ralph.
Ralph.
It might be just as bad. Right. Listen, it's a chance both Pennsylvania teams are sitting their asses at home.
Could be.
And it's a higher chance that the black and yellow going to be sitting their asses
black
at home.
Black and yellow.
Because, listen, Baker's been balling, but the Ravens know they need it. That happened to them last year. They lost Week 17, got them out of the playoffs. So I don't think they'll make the same mistake twice.
Kevin called him 2.0 Kaepernick.
Who?
Jackson. He's
wow.
2.0 Jackson. That's interesting.
But it took a while for them to catch on to Kaepernick, so he may strike while the iron's hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Very true.
Yes or no, Eagles make the playoffs?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
absolutely.
Second yes or no. I talked to Tom about this.
Okay.
This is the one Philly set we're going to do all night.
Okay, let's do it.
There's a report that came out from the New York Post, I believe, that both Harper and Machado would rather play in New York than play in Philly.
I don't believe that.
Out of the whole – now, listen. Great. I'm reading between the lines.
Go ahead.
The whole article, the only other team mentioned outside the Yankees was the Phillies. Why would they do that?
Drive the price.
Scott Boras 101.
Next subject.
He's a crumb. Yeah. Scott Boras is a crumb. He drives up his agent's prices all the time.
Exactly.
I was telling everybody, why are you worried about it? It's a New York Post report that Scott leaked to them to drive Manny Machado up another $50 million. Like, don't believe it.
Fool's gold. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Next.
So, do the Steelers make the playoffs?
No. Ralph, I'm sorry, man. I got to keep it real. I got to keep it 100, man. No.
Okay.
The Ravens is clicking. Okay. They're moving. They're grooving. I got to Ravens.
Most important game outside of the Eagles on Sunday. Sunday Night Football. Colts versus Titans.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Colts versus Titans. Who I think should win Coach of the Year. It's between two people.
Frankie Wright. Go ahead.
Frank Wright and Anthony Lynn.
That's
my two nominees for Coach of the Year.
I agree with that.
So, Mariota may not play. I don't think he is going to play. You got Blaine Gabbert.
He's still questionable right now. He's questionable.
So you got Blaine Gabbert, Colts, Titans. Who wins? Who's in?
Colts are in.
Okay.
Luck does his thing. T.Y. Hilton has a nice game. Coming back from an injury. All day, Colts.
All right. And before we get out of here, this is why we talked about Washington on the earlier side. So now on the flip side, we have a YGTG this week. And, Aaron, who is it?
Washington. I'm not going to say the last name.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And why?
Okay. Well, as we know, did they actually sign Reuben Foster?
Yeah, they claimed.
Okay. So they lost last game,
claimed it without no investigation.
Right. So they lost the last game recently against the Titans. So DJ Swearinger, safety, having a poor Cowboy year, made some comments to the media about the coaching, basically saying it was bad.
Said they was playing in too much man.
Exactly. Next day, guess who gets cut?
DJ Swearinger.
Cuts him.
So why is it that the straw that broke the camel's back is comments against your defensive coordinator, but it's okay? For one of y'all have a racist name. That's one. But two, for you to sit here and employ someone who has a long track record.
Well, let's go from the top. Look at the owner. I didn't notice until today. Do you know he actually funded the organization, someone that actually represented Native Americans, and he gave them money to find out the guy that represented was not Native American, and he funded them, gave them money on purpose because he wanted to talk about how the Redskins' name is good. So he did that to just boost up the Redskins' name. Yeah, same person.
Sleazeball.
Oh, Daniel Snyder's the worst. They're the definition of mediocrity because of Daniel Snyder.
And he fired what's the kid, the GM, McCloughan.
Scott McCloughan, yeah.
Fired him, said he had a drinking problem and never did.
Never did.
Lies.
Scumbag, man.
Lies.
Straight defamation.
So I'm gonna throw it back to you.
So I mean that's really it, man. That's about to wrap it up here for us.
Yeah. And guess what? I'm gonna say this to all those people out there that Washington fans. As long as you have him in your helm, Daniel Snyder, you'll never win a Super Bowl.
I'm gonna say this, and this may sound crazy.
Go ahead.
I actually like Jerry Jones more than like Daniel Snyder.
That's what the guy said. He said Jerry Jones looks like a great owner compared to Daniel Snyder.
How can you not? I mean, he grew his franchise from nothing, from oil money, right? And put him on I hate the Cowboys, but put him on the map. Put him on the map as America's team.
Yeah.
Had Pepsi and Coke earlier on in their old stadium. He had them bid against each other in their own stadium, which drove up their prices and then let him sign bigger and bigger free agents.
He was the first owner to do that as far as getting the sponsorship and boosting, and then everyone caught on. But listen, I don't like the Cowboys, but you got to respect Jerry Jones on the business side. You have to.
So, after tomorrow, 24 hours from now, what is our college football championship game?
Ooh. My heart is saying I would love to see Notre Dame, and I would love to see Alabama rematch. But 2012 when they got waxed. You remember that?
Yeah.
They got waxed. However, the same story is going to happen again. And what's that same story, Pete?
Alabama Clemson.
There it is. Part 4.
Me personally,
right?
Listen. The better of the games is going to be Notre Dame versus Clemson.
Yeah.
And Dexter Lawrence is going to miss it. Top flight first round pick. But I would love it if Alabama lost.
Me too.
I would love it.
Me too.
Kyle Murray's got to throw 5 then, right?
He's going to have to.
He's got to be everything and more. He's got to be a Heisman 2.0.
What's the line? I think it's like,
let me find that one out for you.
Was
Clemson's going to be interesting because you lose a guy like Lawrence. Now, granted, the guys they got coming in behind him are NFL caliber guys, but they're not a top 5 pick in the draft kind of guy. Right. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. And now Notre Dame pound the football a little bit more.
But let me say this, though. College football wants Notre Dame, Alabama, bro.
So
they want Alabama. They want that because that's big money, man. That's big money. I mean, yeah.
Oh, Notre Dame, Alabama?
Yeah, that's big money, bro. That's marketing. That's economics, bro. They want that, but it's not going to happen.
Nah. I don't think it's going to happen. And Hollywood Brown, that Philly Jim was talking about, he's hurt. He's trying to get to 100%, so he's going to be a game-time decision. He ran routes yesterday. So we'll see. Maybe that may hurt his draft price. Never know. Because
Kevin said he's choosing between drowning and being set on fire. I guess watching the game. Ben says F Saban. That's my take.
Well, he still hurt the way he left Miami. He still hurt the way he left Miami. But listen, man. So it's New Year's Eve weekend. I hope you guys had a great 2018. And we're going to bring in 2019. Hopefully with the Eagles in the playoffs, we got big Sixers, big Phillies. But most importantly, love, laugh, cry if you need to. Because we may be crying for 48 hours from now if the Eagles don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Some of us really will take it that hard.
Yeah.
But listen, man, just be safe. 2019. Yes. Catch us tomorrow on the Team Huddle. Tom, you got something to say?
-14.
-14.
Oklahoma's -14 tomorrow.
Listen, guys, don't drink and drive out there. Yeah. If you're going to drink, have fun, get an Uber, get a Lyft. Be responsible.
Won't you give me a direct number? Give me a direct number.
I don't know if I'm going to be out there doing an Uber that day. I don't know. I might chill out. But I love you guys,
Listen, man.
Keep rocking with us.
Namaste.
Yes, sir.
We'll catch you.